What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheels Fall Off podcast. I am your host, Candace, also known as Spice from SpiceLifeTv, and this is my beautiful husband and co-host, Creed.
Hey, baby. Hey. What's up, world? I'm Creed, and it's the podcast where we discuss relationships and reintegration, particularly as it pertains to incarcerated individuals and their families.
And why is that, babe?
Because I did 23 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit, and the whole time this lady was riding with me the whole way. And during that time, we fought for justice, and we fought for love, and we fought for the opportunity to reintegrate in a successful way, and we doing it.
We did that every day, and we're going to do that until the wheels fall off, and we want y'all to come with us.
That's right.
So let's go.
Let's get it.
So what about your crew?
My crew's a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up with a different type of family. My family's from the block. They from the street, you know what I'm saying? And a long story short, we was the type of family that, you know, like people knew that my older sister was gonna fight if anything happened to me. Mm-hmm. And I was gonna beat up any nigga that was gonna fuck with my older sister, because she used to fuck with street dudes and all that, and that's what I used to do, you know. Pick up the biggest thing I could find, because I was a little younger at the time, and I fuck him off. And then, you know, the same thing with my brother, you know, it was the type of situation where, yeah, I mean, he would get down. He'd cry while he was doing it, but he'd get down. And so the three of us grew up together for a long time before I had two younger sisters that came later on, but it was just us. It was that dynamic. And of course, my pops from the block, and mom's was the ride or die chick. The ride or die chick. I say that because you'll see later. But as we grew up and all that, that was kind of our dynamic. And so what ended up happening was we ended up moving away from our hometown when Pops got into the military and all that, because you started traveling around and all that. And that dynamic that we had in the hood, it came with us because that's all we had. We didn't have family around, right? So then, so now we're tight, but it's like my sister's my motherfucker. And she'd be like that with me. You know what I'm saying? Anything happened, she come and find me first. She treated me better than she treated me better than she treated niggas she was with. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And but at the same time, I didn't realize when I was younger that, because I had an older sister, older brother, and then it was me. That's how it was. What I didn't realize is that most of my childhood, I took care of my older brother and sister, not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had an older brother that never taught me nothing. I had an older brother that never fought for me. I fought for him. Mm-hmm. So those type of dynamics, but I didn't realize that because that's just how we were, right? So it wasn't until I got grown that I realized that. Fast forward, and that's just very surface level, just kind of give you guys an idea of what it was. I was one of the very few people in the hood that had, you know what I'm saying, both parents at home. I had a father at home, but I tell her all the time, like, that didn't mean I had anything better at home. I just had two ignorant people in the house instead of one, you know? So there wasn't anything being taught. There wasn't anything being, no time and energy being devoted, stuff like that, you know? I was really good at football when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? My pops wasn't there. There's plenty of black kids that have that dynamic, you know what I'm saying? But the difference is he had time. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd be at the game, and I be playing good ass football game, and everybody else's parents in the stands, mine wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? And then I come home and everybody just chilling at home. It wasn't like nobody was at work or everybody just chilling at home. I come home after the game, Friday night.
See, when he tells me these stories about his childhood, that is complete opposite of mine. So I explain how my family is now, but when I was a kid, we would have games. My mom was at every single practice and game. And then at the games, my uncle, my grandma, my auntie, my cousins, we all were at each other's games. Mm-hmm. So the support when I was growing up, was out of this world. I knew that someone was going to be cheering my name in the audience all the time.
Nah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of times you have this dynamic where you're like, you know, single family kids get into the streets and all that. Like, I started gang banging, and I had two parents at home, but that was because I was still looking for something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There was a dynamic because I had the homies was coming to my game. Mm-hmm. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a trip. But anyway, fast forward, I ended up going to prison. When I got popped for this crime that I didn't commit, and I ended up getting sentenced and all that, deep inside, I did know that my family didn't have the capacity to support in this. I knew, because I was the supporter out there. I was the one everybody called at night. So now that that's gone, they don't have that no more. My older brother is not built like that, you know? And so what you had was, I go to prison and I'm still holding out hope. Maybe they could support, maybe they can be the family that we were. But to tell you the truth, not to pat myself on the back, I feel like there was a part of the family that I held together that was lost when I left. That makes sense. Yeah. Not the whole thing, but just a part of it.
Did you realize you held that together before you left?
No,
it wasn't
until I left, and I started hearing all the stuff that was happening, and I knew it wouldn't happen if I was there with them. So I ended up going to prison, and while I'm in, I know secretly they don't have this capacity. And so it's almost like you were saying, the support was there when I got popped. The support was there when I went through trial, because everybody's eyes was on the situation and it looked good. You know what I'm saying? And once me being in the joint got old and nobody was really paying attention to it no more, it was like, you know, which is fine. I'm with that, but say that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it seem like it's this and it's actually that. So I don't know if you remember, like when I was waiting to go to the joint and I was in the county, you know, they was coming to holler at me and all that type of stuff, and it's that and the third, and then it started to taper off. Not because, and I'm not bitter at it. It's the best thing that ever could have happened to me, honestly. But let's call it spade a spade. Nobody was paying attention to you, and nobody was talking. You weren't going to church and telling them how you just saw me last week and I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Once you start going to church and you had somebody to tell about me and all that, you didn't have anyone to tell about me. It was old news, which is fine. I had my baby. Right. So, a lot of instances happened when I was in there, and I started to notice this. When I was out, I was taught, you know, you take care of your moms, you know, and that's what I did. You know, my mom didn't want for nothing when I was around, you know. And
I loved the dynamic you and your mom had.
Yeah. She didn't want for nothing. She called me for everything, you know, and that's where it was. And then what ended up happening was, before I went to the joint, I knew that she was a master manipulator, and she did it with all her friends, every friend she ever had, but she also was doing it with her kids. The thing is, she could never get away with it with me. And I think the distance from me being in the joint, and I think she got in her mind that she could start doing it because she started trying to manipulate me a little bit, telling me lies about my siblings, telling me lies about what was going on in the house, telling me lies about you. And I wasn't going for none of it still, and it frustrated her. And so the best thing she could do was try to create a divide between me and everybody else that was in the family.
She couldn't control.
She could not control, and she also knew how to mind of my own, and I was going to speak it. And I wasn't going to sit here in front of this person and not say what she did. You know what I'm saying? So she had to create that divide. Yeah. So I was in the joint for years, and then one day she tried to basically lie on you to me. I remember you went and did that solid. You went down and stayed at her house when she left out of town, and that she didn't do anything to take care of that house. You was house sitting and babysitting while she went out of state, go somewhere else to go see some dude or whatever. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. And when she came back, she tried to make it seem like, you know, you didn't take care of the house, or you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and I can't even remember everything she said, but everything she said was a lie. And I remember while she was gone, you were telling me like, she ain't leave no money. The lights is getting cut off, and this, that, and the third. They ain't got no food in the house. And
I had to contact your dad overseas to get him to send us money because they were putting notices on the door.
Yes. And she just hopped on what did she hop on the plane?
Somewhere, I think a train, and she was supposed to be gone a week and was gone 3.
Okay. And left you there house sitting and babysitting. I was
like 22 at the time with these teenage girls. I'm trying to work, go to school, and watch these girls. So she tried to come back and make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, you didn't do a good job, this, that, and the third. And I wasn't going for it because I was calling you every day, listening to everything that's going on, and not only hearing it from you, but hearing it from
my little sisters and them.
What do you think the motivation for that was?
I really don't know. Like, to this day,
was it just to create a distraction, or like to see if that could start to be the thing, to see if she could start to pull you back?
Well, the thing is that there's never been any dynamic that she's had, and the dynamic I'm speaking of is you and her friendship / relationship. She's never not ruined it. She's always tried to stick it to somebody, especially when you have a mind of your own. That's her go-to. She's going to lie on you or about you to somebody. She's going to try to create a problem where there isn't one.
You know what? Actually, what you just said actually makes a lot of sense, because when that whole thing happened, do you know that me and her never talked about it? Like, she never said to me, I don't like that you did that. And I called her and was like, what's going on? I heard that and I left her this message, but she's never told me why she hated me or what I did to her. I think it, like you said, it was all because I think it was a ploy to try to control you. And she knew that if you basically didn't choose her side over mine, and she knew I wasn't going to, like, she couldn't control my thought about it, that she had to create this drama and make me and you be these horrible people so that people would buy her story of why she abandoned her son.
Well, I mean, yeah. And the thing is, I learned a long time ago, she's a fucking liar. Let's just call it, like, that's just what it is. I said manipulated earlier. She's a fucking liar, right? So she'll lie about anything. In the moment, something that just happened. It's almost like Rick James on Dave Chappelle when he said, Charlie Murphy tripping, like, I ain't never put my foot on this couch. And then next thing you say, yeah, I put my foot on this couch. Like, that's the type of shit that she used to do. Like, what? Did you just hear that shit? But here's the difference. Everybody else was scared, or everybody else used to kowtow to that, to the point because she always had a place where they needed her for something. Whether it be the house, they was doing bad in the streets, they can come to her house, and then when she get mad at him, she'll kick him out, stuff like that for no reason. I never needed her for anything like that. I had my own everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so she couldn't control me. And then when she said something that wasn't right, I'd be like, you motherfucking lie. I didn't even say, I don't think that's true. I just said a nice way. I'd be like, you a damn lie. Cause that's exactly what I said on the phone with her when she was saying that stuff about you. Like, Candace take care of my house, and she didn't use the money right that I left her. I said, you didn't leave her no damn money. What are you talking about? Candace to take care of Jazz and Laura, and then, you know, they wouldn't wash the bathe, and my house is dirty. And I said, this is where you're gonna stop. Here's the thing. She was trying also to get my pops to take her side, because she's saying this when he's there. Mind you, he works overseas, like literally like 11 months out of the year. So he's only home for like less than a month, because he would have had to pay taxes on his money or something like that. So so when he would come home, that's how she gets everybody over here, and she could just be with him herself. And so she was doing that, and I'm on the phone with her. I'm in the joint. She's saying this shit about you. He's in the background, and she's just going off. And I said, this is where this stops right now. I said, you ain't finna lie on my woman. I am intimately involved with my wife and what's going on with her. I know everything that's going on with her. You're fucking lying, right? And she was like, what are you talking about? And I said, I know for a fact. And the reason why I was trying not to say certain stuff that you had told me, because I knew he didn't know. I knew my pops didn't know. So I was trying not to do that. But then when you force me, you know, I'm not going to take it too much longer. I said, you didn't leave no motherfucking money. You went down there talking about you was going down there to help somebody.
It's like her cousin.
Help somebody or visit somebody. And it was some nigga that we ain't even related to. I said, them kids didn't have no damn food. Any meat that they had was frozen or something like that.
Well, it was fine that it was frozen, but we went through everything in that freezer.
You went through I was about to say it was frozen, and then so they had to go and get the meat out the freezer to cook it, and then they went through all of it. So now they don't have no food. I said, you ain't paid no bills in hella, because you got people coming, and nobody comes and stick a notice on your door in the month.
For the first month.
Not for the first month. I said, so you ain't even paying no bills. Where the fuck your money been going? I said, you gonna sit up here and try to make it seem like my woman who did you a solid, so you can go down there and play down in Mississippi or something like that, who did you a solid, you're not about to lie on her. I said, so until you apologize to me and you apologize to my woman, I will not be calling you no more. Period. And it was not, and at this point, I'm not yelling at her. I'm talking to her just like I'm talking to you right now, because I need my words to be clear. I don't need nobody to think I'm being irrational or anything like that, because now you're going to feel like I'm not serious. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, you apologize to my woman. There's a lot of black men that be like, I'd never take a woman's side over my mama. Well, you didn't know this. You didn't know this, heifer.
Don't say that.
You didn't.
Don't be saying names. Because even though you feel like that, they're going to say, who's calling his mama heifer?
Okay. Well, a lot of black men will say you wouldn't take their woman's side over their mama, but y'all didn't know this woman. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying that to say is that she was a different beast, and it was one that I had to relinquish. And once I realized that you could not admit that you're lying when you're caught dead to rights, number one. Number two, you have a father who is hearing the truth and doesn't have the backbone or the balls to do anything about it. Mm-hmm. Then number three, whatever she said to him, because he was there and he actually came to holler at me after that.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. Well, I seen him after that. But then she said something about me after he came to see me, and I've still not to this day have not seen him in I don't know how long.
So explain that. So Babe's in prison. Him and his mom fall out. His dad comes to see him. This was what, 2000?
It was like 2008.
Well, that was a busy year for us.
Yeah, for real, huh?
And his dad comes to see him. They have a visit. He goes home. The mom tells him something else. And from 2008 to this day, him and his dad have never spoken
So
again.
He never came to me and said, is this true or is that true? And I still don't know to this day, don't know exactly what she said, but she said something.
To make him not ever reach out to his son again.
Yeah. And so I don't know if I could ever have a son, even if you said something about my son, I'm gonna holler at my son. Mm-hmm. So that was enough for me. Like I only need that to happen one time. And you know as well as I do how much I revered that man before I went to prison. So that's how it fucked up it was. So it didn't actually hurt me. Mm-hmm. It made me mad. It made me mad to the point where I was like, man, fuck that. Like, fuck that nigga. And if I ever see him on the streets, I'm gonna treat him like a nigga in the streets. Mm-hmm. Because that's why you treated me. So they did not have the capacity to support, nor did they have the capacity to love past a certain age either, because, he has kids outside of his marriage. But I don't say outside of his marriage. He has kids before he got with her.
No, he does.
He does now, but I'm saying at the time. I'll say at the time. I'll say at the time he had kids before he got with my mom's, mm-hmm. and none of them kids ever talked to him. But the way they shaped it, it made it seem like you had these kids that was over here mad because he got with her and had another family. But the truth of the matter is you abandoned them. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like your MO. Mm-hmm. So now what's ended up happening is now you starting to realize you're getting older, and these new kids that you got out of wedlock and these old kids that still kowtow to that bullshit, that culture that y'all got going on, you're holding on to them because you realize you ain't got nobody else. Mm. You know what I'm saying? And
you're saying he's holding on to the kids, and you're holding on to the kids because you have nothing else. What else were you supposed to have?
Like there's no, like if you let them go, you're alone in life. Mm-hmm. You don't have nobody else. There's no old friendships, dudes that you knew and all that. Because you was out there chasing women all the time. Mm-hmm. And now you're older and you can't get the women you used to get. Right. So you're also realizing that you ain't, because you're doing all this chasing and spending money where you shouldn't have, you barely got a retirement. So you're still working. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's just nothing really for you. You just didn't play life good at when you was a grown man. Well,
and you got these other grown kids that you basically abandoned. So now you're having to deal with them and their issues, and they're not able to help you at your old age because you didn't put nothing in them.
Yeah, and then they take on the identity of their mom, which is a leech. Mm-hmm. They're perfectly fine with living off of their pops, who's old as hell, still trying to work and support itself, and everybody's living off of him. This is what I hear.
The thing about your family that still always blows my mind is because the image that I was introduced to your family is legitimately why I'm with you today. So it blows me because you're saying that was all a facade, but that is what literally made me say, I want that man as my husband, because I saw how your mom and dad were together. I saw how your dad doted over her, and she clearly was the light of his life. And he loved her. She loved him. I saw how she, like, her life was around her husband and her home and all of these things that I admired so much. And the other part that he didn't mention is that me and his mom were super close.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
She was the one that initiated me and him being together. Like, that was her idea.
Yeah, and you guys were super close, which is why her line on you was also like
so
mind-boggling.
Hurtful.
It was mind-boggling. Like, what the fuck?
I had my own specific nickname for her that only I called her. I loved that woman always before, because her and my mom were best friends at one point, and so I just admired her there. And then it was his mom, and she was so, to me, I thought she was so classy and just like she did things in a way that I hadn't seen, and I was like, and then when my mom died, I was still thinking like, okay, well, at least I have Peaches. Well, at the time I was calling her Peaches. At least I have Peaches. And I would have been such a good daughter-in-law. She really missed out.
No, she
would have had an amazing daughter-in-law.
She didn't have the capacity to appreciate that. They didn't have the capacity. They didn't have the capacity to keep anything good in their lives. They literally was the type of people that would destroy anything.
But it's so sad because it's like now we're all these adults that hopefully if they were putting in the same work and doing what we had, it just seems like if they were those people that I thought they were, this could have been such a great time in our lives. Like the missing puzzle piece is back home. Like, y'all, let's make this happen and like, let's do this. But their life stopped when you left and it just kept doing the same thing. They did not. Nobody went this way at all.
Nobody elevated.
It just continued to decline. And I don't know how you elevate while you're in prison, but you did. And now you've kind of elevated past them, unfortunately. And I don't mean to say that in a messy or mean way, but it's just interesting at how you were literally in hell in the worst place and still came out better.
Well, here's the thing. The shit that was going on when I went to the joint still going on now. That's basically what you're saying. Like, everybody's still basically living the same. They're probably a little bit worse off, honestly. But, I come home and Pop's still a playboy, trying to be. Got 2 new kids. Mom's still leeching. Sister's still in the streets on drugs. Brother still ain't got no direction. Older brother still ain't got no direction. The only difference is the 2 younger sisters, when I went to the joint, they were minors when I went. Now they're grown. And so, yeah, I mean, they honestly sounds like they're worse off than they were. So, one of the kickers when I was in the joint, and this is going back a little bit in the story, one of the kickers I was in the joint also made me quit fucking with him, was that I was told through a good source, through a good source, that because after my mom's me and her had to falling out and I told her I ain't calling no more, this is part of the manipulation I told you she likes to create the divide, is by telling them that I was actually guilty of the crime I was in for.
Yeah.
Which is not true. So,
but that's to show you the level of just nastiness.
So, yeah, it was at that point I was just like, you know what? I'm done. And I'm not the type to go back. Like, once I'm done, I'm done. And I don't have no family no more as far as they're concerned. Now, I'm a black man. I believe in family. Don't get it twisted. But I don't believe in letting people drag you down in the name of family. I don't believe that. And then number 2, I don't call them family anymore. They're relatives. They're my relatives. I'm never going to deny that. Somebody asked that, is that your relative? Yes. But is that my family? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Because family don't do that. And so here we are. We living in the same world, coexisting in the same world, but I don't have no interactions. I don't have no exchanges. I don't have no bad words for you, but I damn sure ain't got no good ones. You know what I'm saying? Wish you well in your endeavors, but, I just won't be involved in it, So I'm out here in the streets now, and I've been out for almost 3 years. I haven't had no contact.
You've been out over 3 years.
Well, I'll be counting work release still being locked up. Like February is like 3. So, yeah, what was I saying? You've been out. You just don't consider family. Yeah, I've been out all this time. There's been no communication, and that's all for the better. And I'm not, I treat me and your life like a sanctuary. It is my sanctuary, and I'm not going to allow anything foul to come in. There is a chaotic mess that exists within that family dynamic, what I would not allow back in here. Mm-hmm. And if anybody has been around them the last 20 some years I've been locked up, you can't tell me you don't see it. Mm-hmm. It's like they're like a cancer. And I'm not saying anything bad about, I don't want to call them a cancer. Their actions are cancerous.
The unit as a whole.
Yeah. The things that they do, the way they view things, the way that they try to handle business is cancerous. And so, in some ways, the joint saved me from them. Mm-hmm. It's very possible. Now, I was never like them when I was out to that degree. I still had a lot of integrity and all that, but at the same time, that could be argued depending on who you ask.
And you knew you saw stuff that you just let slide, and as you got older, you might have let more slide, like a lot of people do.
Exactly.
And fell into it more.
In the name of family, you know what I'm saying? So it basically had to happen to me.
Yeah.
The things that she was doing to her friends, which you witnessed her do before, she did it to your mom. Mm-hmm. The things that she did to her friends, she was also doing to her kids, and so it had to happen to me before I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I told you about a couple instances out there that I was like, what? Mm-hmm. And I let that slide in the name of, this is your mom's. Any black man in the neighborhood, especially from my neighborhood, that has a mom, you cherish that mom and you let her get away with shit even when she on bullshit. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did when I was younger. But nah, once I meet a real one and realize how a woman's supposed to be, I don't give a fuck if you 23, 33, or 53. I'm not letting that slide. You know what I'm saying? That's her actions and her thinking is out of pocket. And same thing with my pops as your pops. They mirror each other in a way that, like, once you got to be 18, I did my job.
Yeah, my dad was he was only as good as the woman he was with. And he only cared about what the woman he was with and her kids. Mm-hmm. He just... as much as, I was a daddy's girl and loved that man. He was absolutely my first love. And it wasn't until I was getting ready to kind of go away to college that I started to look at him differently, because I started to see things as like, what?
Yeah.
And it wasn't so rose-colored glasses with the, daddy's girl, daddy girl. I still had that, but I was starting to see more of like, you aren't really showing up for my mom though. Like, why are you not there with her or helping her or, so I did start to see how I started to see him in a different light. And this is the other thing, is my mom several times told me that how my dad was going to behave if she was to die. This was years before she died. She told me how he would just move on very quickly and probably be very cold. Very clear about that. And she was absolutely right, because he did all of that. I don't think she ever thought he would do what he did to us.
That's crazy.
But what I was going to say about your family, I think... because I don't know that we've conveyed it, but our families were very close at one point. Mm-hmm. Like, I was very close with his mom, his sisters. His mom was close with my grandma. They'd come over for holidays. Like, our families were very intertwined, and this happened for years. Even it happened after my mom died a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that makes me like the most, not even sad, like you don't have to like me and you can say all the things you want to. I didn't really ever find that part offensive. The part I found offensive was like, but I know that you do love him, or that you did at one point. And just for the fact that I love him too, where's my respect at? Like, I don't even need you to put money on the phone. That didn't happen. Send me a little money to put on for the card to feed him. That didn't happen. Money on the packages for the food. That didn't happen. Clothes packages for me to do it. I did it on my own. Like, I'm not even saying you have to help support him, but just respect me as my position, that I am the only one that's still riding with your son, and that is not doing it for any other intention except the fact that I love him. I just never understood why that wasn't, not even just from Ernie, your sister. It was always this like, I wasn't good enough, or they were trying to see if they could get me to say or do something that they could come run back and tell you, like, see, she ain't that. It was never just like, oh no, she's a cool square. She's a square. Like, we know that, but she's cool. She don't have no ill intentions towards us. She just loves my brother.
Well, see, here's the thing I didn't mention to the world is that, when I was out, I never ever in my life, like, I never took chick home, meet them. Like that wasn't my style. You know what I'm saying? So for them, all my attention was on them. And then you came along and took that. You know? And I didn't realize till later.
But I didn't really take it.
To a degree you did. To I should say not take it. My focus, my priority was different. It wasn't on them. Because there was a time where Ernie could have said anything about anybody and I'd have went on her side. When that didn't happen, I think that infuriated her. Same thing with my sister. My older sister was like my heart. You know, I took care of her out there, right? And she needed something, I always gave her some money or bought her something that she wanted or made sure nobody was going to put their hands on her. And then she can definitely tell that my focus has shifted as far as like, y'all not no more ladies in my life. I got a woman. And they didn't like that.
But I mean, what really changed? Like, what would have made them fill the gap? You know what I mean?
What do you mean, fill the gap?
Like, not feel. What made them feel that you had left? Because by that time you were locked up.
It didn't have to be. It had to be any instances where they had to feel anything. Just the knowledge, like that was not. They was going to destroy anything like that. If that makes sense, that's just what they did. And honestly, they did it with my older brother too. Now that I think about it, they did it with him because he was the type to bring every girl home, everyone, and there was always something. Like my mom's, before she got with my pops, she had 2 kids, and one of the things she's always said to my brother is, "Why you always getting a girl who got kids? Your man did that with you." What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So what is the motivation for you saying that? Because
now we know what.
I'm not going there with you.
I'm just saying.
I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you. But very true. It's the truth. But it's stuff like that. It's just like they had to push away anybody else that was coming in. So like I said, it wasn't no instances where
that's unfortunate because like you're pushing things away that really could probably potentially improve your life. Because, and I'm not saying this like as an ego thing. I'm just saying this because our lives are so different. Because I think that they could have added to mine just as I could have added to theirs. You know, I'm the square black white girl. That's what I'm just not black enough for them. I've never been black enough for them. But I know that there's so many things that I didn't grow up around or things that I didn't learn as being the black girl in the hood that, not saying that that's what they would have taught me, but just another level of blackness that I could have got from them. But also, I am very much a black woman, and there's a level of blackness they could have got from me. And we could have benefited each other from that.
I'm glad you said that because you're a fucking full-blown black woman.
I know that. I will say that was a struggle for me, and part of them were part of that because I knew they always doubted my black.
Well, you didn't do anything in particular to do that. It's just that you put the ERs on the end of your words and the INGs all the goddamn time. Shit, that's what it is.
And I'm always like this, and I'm always talking like that. I'm so happy all the time.
That's what that was all about.
They just didn't understand me.
But I mean, that's all right. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, it can be viewed as them doing something to offend me, which that did happen. But that was God saying, "Here, do this so you can be removed and he can be at peace with it, so I can be at peace with it." And that's fine. I'm with it. I'm just not with the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? But for all of them, it's just the same thing I said about Pops. I said, yeah, I would treat you like a nigga in the street now. And once you're on the dark side, it's over with. Like up here, I cannot reconcile certain things that happen, you know? And some of it's personal, so I won't get all the way into it. But some of the things that was said and done in spite of the things that I did that I also won't get into. You know what I'm saying? But some of the things that I was able to do for them, and you would say that about me. Yeah, you ain't my family.
Yeah,
you're a relative.
That's hurtful.
It is what it is. But now we all grown now, and we create our own family, which is what we're in the process of doing. Like me and this woman believe in family wholeheartedly, really y'all. So don't get it twisted. We're not telling you guys to discard your family when they do something to make you angry or do something that you don't like. I'm just saying, just love yourself enough to know that that's not an excuse to keep people around. And for me, this discussion is the lesson learned here is that if you're a family member, if you are a family of a person who's either doing time or supporting, support the situation because this could happen the way we are right now, the way we love each other, the way we're able to, I was able to get out and reintegrate and cohabitate with my woman and all that. That could be a lot easier when both families are supporting from both sides. Like she needed support when she was supporting me, and I needed support during time from other entities. And it's so free.
Like it's just free. And all it really is you being open to loving someone through something you don't understand. That's all that is. That's what support is. You don't have to understand it, but you love them enough to say, I'm going to show up for you. And I don't feel good that I'm 42 and don't feel like I've had a lot of people do that in my adult life. But I do appreciate the ones that have and that are. And I don't think that like everything is set in stone. I think that God can do anything and he can repair anything. And if he was to repair it, I'm totally open for that. If he was to repair it on your side, I would love that. But I know he has to do it. And it's a lot of stuff he'd have to do. So that's why you just have to give that to God.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I'm talking about like on the repair thing. If you was to ask me, I'm cool. But God is stronger than me.
You can say you cool all the time you want, but if God wants that,
I just said God's stronger than me.
You and Ernie about to be besties again.
Nah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. I don't even, knowing God like I know God, I don't even think he gonna allow that to happen. And he wouldn't do that to me. But like you said, the support it's free. It doesn't require a lot of time. It doesn't really require a lot of effort, really.
Moms, if you got a woman that's supporting your son, tell her thank you. Just call her and tell her thank you. If you have the means, every month, put $50 on her phone bill so she doesn't have to, that's $50 less that she has to pay to support your son. If you know she's going up there every week, drop her a 20 once a month or so to put in her gas tank or to put on the card to feed your man or your son. There is a lot that goes into it that you're not doing, whether it's because you're choosing not to or you're not capable of. But if there is a woman that is willing to do what you are unable to do and you're grateful for that, show her. It doesn't, Absolutely. And it's not even like you have to be sending all that money because most times they might accept it every once in a while, but I wouldn't have taken that money if they were offering me money all the time. I wouldn't have taken it. But there were times that it was hard to support you and it was hard to hold you up and ride with you. Financially, mentally, emotionally. There was a lot of lonely times that when I was cool with your family, I would go over there to just feel closer to you and just sit in a room in an old sweatshirt of yours or in a chair that your mom was cooking and the smells reminded me of when you were home. Something. I would try to be around them as much as I could just because I wanted to be close to you. And I knew they were your people, so I loved them too. So yeah, like those, when it just kind of ended out of the blue and it was like, wait, what'd you say I did? And wait, what happened? And then it was just over and the lie was just told and people just went with it because they didn't know how to change it. And then now the dynamic is forever changed. Yeah. And it just seems so unnecessary.
It really did. It really was.
So unnecessary. And it could have just been like, just say to your son, I want more attention from you. Or I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, fellas who are doing time, you know as well as I do what the mentality is. You ain't about to let nobody disrespect your woman. But that also goes for family. You know, and you need to speak up when somebody disrespecting your woman and they calling themselves your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. You need to speak up for that woman that's supporting your rusty, dusty ass, because it ain't, like she just said, it's not easy. And it's not always talking about financials. It's not easy mentally or emotionally to do this. And then sometimes these families be putting extra weight on the situation that's not necessary, and it could be alleviated if you open your fucking mouth and put them in their place for the woman that's supporting you. I advise that. I stand behind that. And I'm just telling y'all, like, a lot of people don't think that that's an option for them because the culture we come from is fam's fam, fam, fam. And then that be the excuse why you still in the same shit when you get home, because these are the people whose side you take in situations when you know they were wrong. And I'm only talking for families that are wrong. Because your girl could be wrong too, and you need to let her know. You need to check her.
You know who we talking about.
Yeah, you know exactly who we talking about.
You know that your mom be causing all kind of extra drama and stress and strife in your relationship and be talking crazy and cash crazy to your woman or about your woman. And the fact that you have not checked her yet, that says a lot about you. And the other part about this is I didn't even know Babe checked his mom, nor at the time of my life I'd ever signed up for that. I was like, you said what to your mom? Like I was never that person. But it also, as you realize what your value and the respect that you carry, you need to demand that. And I was grateful that he demanded that from me, but when I didn't see it. So it helped me understand, like, this man has my back when he's in front of me and when he's behind me.
100%.
And I don't have to worry about him shucking and jiving behind me, because what he's doing in my face is also what he's doing behind my back. And that is what I greatly appreciated. Not the fact that your family dynamic was hindered or damaged, but that you stood up for me and was like, she is doing what she's supposed to do for me. And you're not about to just be over here doing your normal petty mess to just mess this up because you want to. It hurt my feelings for a long time because it was so unwarranted. I never got my chance to say, like, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I never got that. But at the same time, that was not an argument I was going to ever win anyway, because the argument was it wasn't a real argument.
Right.
It was all made up just to create the divide. And that's what happened. But we are much better for it.
100%.
And it really solidified our bonds. Like, not that I needed you to go up against your mom for me, but it was like, that was hurtful and wasn't true. And you were like, no, it's not true. The only person in my life that did that, because I had family members that saw things that were hurtful and untrue, or hurtful and true, and they ignored it too. They didn't stick up for me, and you stuck up for me. That's the common thing. You were the only one that stuck up for me in my life, my adult life. You stuck up and really, like, made people respect me as your woman. And I mean, they respected me behind those bars and outside those walls. And I never felt like that was not because you demanded that. And I appreciate that.
Well, babe, I'm a hell of a man. But at the same time, I'm a hell of a man because you're a hell of a woman.
Yes.
So that's why.
I love you.
I love you too.
You know that song? I'm about to sing a little ditty. If you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because they're looking at you. That's what that reminded me of.
What song is that?
That's Whitney Houston and Jermaine.
Oh, Jackson. Jermaine Jackson. That's right. But yeah, I mean, it could be sad.
If you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because they're looking at you. Okay, continue.
Are you finished? You quite done?
I'll try.
The situation can be looked at as sad, but to me, it never was. Honestly, it's just like we were talking about earlier with your situation. It was a weight lifted. Honestly. Yeah,
I think that's what happened too with I think the finality of my dad and our relationship, which I didn't even tell you this part. So tell you this part. My dad, right before we got married, I had told him we were getting married. It was like, yeah, you can still walk me down the aisle. And I told him he could walk me down the aisle because we had a surprise wedding, which we'll tell you. If we haven't, go back and watch. I think we told that part. Anyway, I had told him, like, yeah, you can walk me down if you're in town. Feel free. Well, exactly like 30 days before our wedding, he sends me a text message that, long story short, was basically saying he only felt like I invited him out of obligation and that he didn't want to come and make the whole wedding everybody to be talking about him. But the other reason he didn't want to come, he didn't want to come because neither me or my sister or brother had wished him a happy Father's Day the month prior. And when he said that, I was like, it was it Father's Day? 'Cause I ain't told that man happy Father's Day in probably 15 years. Yet he was mad about the gesture of him not getting a happy Father's Day, but he ignored the gesture of me asking him to walk me down me asking him to walk me down the aisle, which is the ultimate gesture of you being a dad, especially when it's a rat bastard lowlife. dirty down, no, low down.
Where your focus at?
Golly. So that was like, that last thing was I was just like, sir, I have nothing left. I have nothing left for you. Like it solidified my feeling of like, this dude is not right for my life, and that is okay.
I was happy when that happened to the not that he did that, but I was happy when it happened that it didn't make
devastate me.
Yeah.
It would have, at one point, that would have wrecked me. But I just was I had gotten to the point with him that I was like, I know he ain't got shit for me, but what he's got, and I'm just going to take that for face value. Mm-hmm. But I also know he doesn't do anything that's not centered around how it's going to make him look or feel or give him some opportunity. It's never just out of goodwill of like life or people. It's always about him. So when he said that and was making my actual wedding day about him, I was like, nigga, if you don't get the F out of my face and please never say nothing to me again, because you will get all your feelings hurt. Because I got shit in the barrel I ain't never brought to you. I don't need to bring to you, but you keep on poking my ass.
I know. Same here. Same here.
Oh, it's lights out if you want to go there. But no, it was literally just like, this guy. Yeah. What? You mad about a happy Father's Day that you know I don't mean? You know I don't mean that.
He sure was upset about that.
Sir, I don't know what else to do for you, and I have no interest of trying.
Did he list reasons why he was, or something like that?
He had a whole lot. It was paragraphs in the text. He didn't even have the gumph to call his daughter to tell her why he was standing her up on her wedding day. The other thing, though, I never told nobody. I had a surprise wedding because I didn't want folks to disappoint me, because I knew that they weren't going to show up like they were supposed to in my family all across the board. And second, I didn't tell nobody I didn't tell anybody partly because I didn't want him to be the center. Oh, is he coming? Is he going to walk her down? Is he going to show up for her at all? And because we knew your ass was not. No. He sent me a funky $100 as my gift for our wedding that he did nothing for. Like, it's comical.
He was sitting naked on the beach somewhere.
Teaching tantric sex.
Oh, my God.
That's what I hear anyway, so. No, it's no hard feelings. It's not even, I hope that none of that came out like petty. It just is like, this is the eye roll of it all. It's like, come on, y'all. I don't think that I don't think that we have bitterness, honestly. I think that we're both in very
happy as hell,
very constructive places with it. Mm-hmm. And I think there's moments where certain things kind of hurt, where you're just like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. But I don't still have the overall hurt of everything that went on with my dad or my family.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear you.
I'm feel good at where it's brought me, and I do think that all contributed to how we got here, you know?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely played a role. We happy in spite of those situations, but if I had to change, if our dynamic right now was to change because we kept them in our lives, I would do it all over again the same way. Yeah. Like, I would just be like, fuck them. This is the way I did. And I honestly felt...
I would have said it earlier. I think that would have been the changes. When they first showed me, I'd have been like, okay, I'm done. And not dragged it out, because I think that caused a lot more pain and hurt for me over the years.
Yeah.
And not saying I would have just cut everybody off, but my boundary would have been up higher, faster, and stronger. Kind of how it is now. Whereas I let you in where I want you. And I'm not negotiating that no more.
Good.
Yeah. At my big age.
Well, the cool part about it is families be doing that, right? But sometimes people are afraid to let them go. But they don't even realize that they only in your life by name, if that's the right term. Because even if you let them go, you're getting the same thing you get from them when they're in your life.
Exactly.
So let them the fuck go. Exactly. There's a weight. That's the only thing that's here is a weight that you can let go of. Because everything else is the same whether they're in your life or not. So you might as well just go ahead and let it go. But I get it, especially Black people. I get family dynamics. I get how we are, and family means everything. But just understand, family ain't always right. You're a grown man or a grown woman. You have the capacity to illustrate your thoughts and convey them in a way that's smart, and you can go against that grain. but be right about it. Don't just be doing it.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what we're talking about here.
All right. Well, this is a big episode. It probably is another one that we're going to cut into 2 pieces. Another one. Because we just be on here talking our asses off, babe.
I know.
Talking our whole asses off. So listen, this was kind of it probably got, did it get heavy at times?
No, it wasn't heavy.
I didn't cry.
It wasn't heavy for me. Just had to remember a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I remembered, and then I just didn't say because I was like, I ain't going there. But
one thing I would like to just make sure that is said on my part is that I don't carry ill feelings from my family members currently. I do have a very clear space of a clear idea of how I feel like they fit into my world now. Mm-hmm. But I definitely want to say that there's a lot of things that they did do to help me be who I am.
Yeah.
Good things and some bad.
Same here.
But all of it, I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for all of that. And they're people that I do genuinely love and I do genuinely care about. But I've just had to adjust how I care. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Just to make sure I'm safe and protected.
That's true. I could give some grace where that's concerned because like it was moms that said, if anybody out there on the streets touch you, you pick up the biggest thing you can find and knock their motherfucking head off. And it was pops that I saw doing that. I'm not glorifying that. I'm saying that to say that's what got me to be a grown man in the hood. Like those are the things that they taught me in order to survive. And then, along with some other things, there were some things that there were different dynamics that survival wise that they are responsible for, no doubt. You know, so for that I give them grace. But other than that, once I got grown, it's all turned. It was like, now I'm the enemy. You treat me like these motherfuckers.
Well, and one thing I'll always thank your parents for is Bert and Ernie. I will always say they gave me you. And I love you.
That's what's up.
And I'm so grateful that I got you. And even though the facade was a facade, it was what brought my attention to you. Mm-hmm. It was what let me see that, like, no, this man has he has the bones, the structure that I want for my husband or my family. Mm-hmm. And whether, like you said, that might not have been accurate on all accounts, but what I saw was accurate. And that's what I got. Yeah. So while, you know, you have your feelings about Bert and Ernie, it's one thing, but I definitely will always have an endearment to them for you because the pieces that they did put in you that I love to death, I know you got from them, and I'm grateful that they gave you that. You always say like they never gave me anything, but there are things that they did give you that I am eternally grateful for. Your dad, he got everything in the streets, but you didn't come out with that. But what the part that you did get was that you take care of your family and working hard, your work ethic, you go every day, you make sure that I have everything I need. I know you got that from him. I saw that. With Ernie, I know that woman knows how to keep a house. She knows how to keep her house a place. And you are so good at doing that. And there's so many different aspects of you that I see from them that I know you don't necessarily give credit to. But I definitely see that. And I love them for those pieces.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can give you that. That's true. That's true.
Well, y'all, until next time. No, I'm joking. We're going to get out of here and wrap this one up and call it a day. We've done a lot. We've dissected a lot.
Yeah.
You feeling good about it?
About it, yes.
I'm hoping it's received well. I don't, whenever you go back and you edit it, I just want to make sure that it's received well.
Yeah, I get that. But I do. I pray to God that your ears are open to the message we're trying to convey when it comes to this, for sure. Don't take it wrong. Like I said, family is important. But me and this woman are orphans right now. Period.
Kinda. We out here.
We orphans.
But we're creating our own, and it's slowly but surely coming together. Yeah, and I'm excited about it. It makes me so happy. Like I'm excited to see what this holiday season looks like.
For
I think it'll be different than any that we've had. And we're still so early in our holidays together, but I'm just excited for that. And everything else that's coming.
For sure. Shout out to my cousin T, who I adore. Shout out to my auntie Rita, who I adore. Shout out to my niece Yaz, who I adore. Like, that's just, it's coming together.
It's coming together.
Yeah.
So until next time, y'all, please stay blessed, stay happy. And what do they need to be doing right now? Drinking their water? Is folks need to be drinking water? I know you do with your ashy skin. You need some
that
lotion.
ain't got nothing to do with ash. That's
it helps. You need to be drinking your water.
You seen me wash my hands before I left.
Y'all, we need Eucerin to sponsor us. We need Eucerin to sponsor.
This is hardworking hands.
But yeah, until next time, y'all, stay blessed, stay safe, drink you some water, put you some lotion on, and come back. Because we be back every Thursday.
Come back.
Subscribe, like, and share us out, y'all. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.